This video is going to show you a new location I've found where you can level weapons fast and also get the Deepsight resonance from red border weapons fast without loading into the last week's Shuro Chi raid. So I made a video about this last week, but some people didn't believe me what I was on about. Some of these weekly campaign missions from the moon rotate, right? Well, there's one that rotates. Last week it was Mysterious Disturbance, which isn't up this week and was the best farm in the game at the time when it was on. Right, I was using it. I ended up doing 25 Deepsight resonance weapons in 2.5 hours, and I managed to get 2 exotic catalysts done within that one stint. No wipes, no raid banners, infinite heavy, infinite special, and obviously good for primaries. That's gone, so there's a new mission up, so I thought I'll try this new mission, see if there's any farm, and it turns out there's a farm in the deep on this mission. But I'm also going to time how quickly you can level one weapon up from 0% to 100 in this mission and comparing it to Shuro Chi with getting the checkpoint. Obviously you go in here, you enter in the Shuro Chi wish wall, you get the checkpoint, so you've got it for the whole week. I still recommend that you do this, and it's still going to be probably better for power weapons and specials when you use them raid banners. But is it better for primaries? I'm not 100% if it is. This moon mission might actually be better than that. So just bear in mind, I'm not using a Hunter Tether. You could actually use the Hunter Tether strat when you're crafting weapons on what I'm doing on the moon mission. You can still do the same thing applies. You know, use your tether to tether all the adds, and then use the weapon that you want to level up, and then shares all the damage, you get your percentage. But I'm not wanting to do that, because then someone's going to say, well, what about Titans and what about Warlocks? The strat that I'm going to do on the moon can be done on any class. You know, it makes it's super easy, but what I generally do use when I'm crafting weapons is Second Filaments, which gives you Devour when you pop an Empowering Rift. So obviously we put an Empowering Rift on, and then we can just get Devour on all the kills on whatever weapon we're leveling up. So I'll be testing out Under Your Skin. I won't use Bow Loader on both clips. When you're going to see them side to side, you'll see which one's faster for the most part. But I'm not going to use, as I say, Bow Loader on one and not the other, so I just didn't use Bow Loader on either clip. But first, I'll show you how to get to the checkpoint that you need to do, that you need to get to on the moon for in the deep, and then show you the Shiro Chi at the end and compare the time of both of them. So first, I'll show you the deal with the moon. So first I'll show you where to go for the in the deep farm, right? So obviously first load up the mission, create a solo server. I didn't, because I ended up loading in solo anyways, because no one's playing this mission. But I'm sure they might if they start watching this video. So just make the solo server on your platform. Then obviously choose what weapon you want to level up, or if it might be Deepsight Resonance, whatever it might be, plan it all out. Have all your weapons on you, and then just follow the checkpoint. So it says locate the hive cryptoglyph. You want to get to that checkpoint at the very least. Anyway, anything before that won't give you infinite adds, but coming up there'll be infinite adds. So just follow everything, clear out the wizards. There'll be wizards to clear. Then things will go dark. You've got to it'll be the Bane of the Catacombs. You'll get a debuff. Now this debuff will only be for your grenade and your super. You will still get class ability energy, melee ability energy. You'll get no super. So that's something I forgot to mention. You won't be able to do the tether strat on this. You want to come to this location where I am with the Shrieker and the Knight. Clear out the Shrieker and the Knight, and then there's infinite adds. Now you saw there I'm 1% on that bow at level 8, I think it was. So the timer will start when I shoot the first add to see how long this is. So I start right there as I shoot that cursed. And I timed it from when I get a level up. From here until I get a level up, it was a 3 minutes 44 seconds. Now I didn't go speedy pace. I didn't have Bow Loader on. You know, I was just casually testing this out at the time. But I was interested to see how much I got to rank up. I got 1 full level in 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Now bear in mind, when you come in here, you'll be playing here for an hour or two maybe. Imagine how much you can get done in that time. You'll get a level 16 weapon out of it. From level 1 to 16. No problem at all. Health regen isn't impaired because of the Bane of the Catacombs. All it is you don't get super energy and grenade energy, but you get everything else, the melee and the... Obviously, you're not going to be killing enemies with grenades anyways, right? So it's not of no use to you. Obviously, if you're doing the Tether strat, it wouldn't be good for that because you're not getting the super. But yeah, just hang around here. You'll keep getting ads, Thrall and Cursed. When you're killing the Cursed, though, try and clear them out first, because if you have the Cursed explode all the Thrall, then you won't get the percentage. This isn't fully 1-to-1, but it's rather like 0.7. Something like that. It's not half, it's not 2-to-1, it's not quite that. It's like 70%, it's like 70% of a percent, if you know what I mean. So it's not quite, but I'm still, as I say, putting it in a good time. So I'm going to compare that to the Shuro Chi, because Shuro Chi, there is plenty of ads and stuff, but there's the knights that get in the way. You've got to put constant banners. I mean, banners are good, obviously, if you're doing the heavies and the specials, which this strat isn't as good for. But you could still kind of multitask, level up your heavy, you know, spam your heavy, then use your primary, stuff like that. So, you know, you can still make it work, or, you know, stuff like that. So I'll just let this clip play out. But as I say, I haven't timed it on screen, but I timed it myself. It was 3 minutes 44 for In the Deep, where I'm sitting at right here with all the infinite thrall and stuff. So I'll just let that play out, then I'll launch it to the Shuro Chi, which obviously you need to put the wish wall in to get the checkpoint, and then we'll compare the two. So this is a Shuro Chi run, same bow, not using bow loader, nothing like that, just the second filaments. So the timer started as I killed the first thrall for me. When I timed it, in the end it was 3 minutes 54 seconds, so it's 10 seconds longer than the other strap. But here's the thing, right? When you start multiplying this over an hour or 2 hours, Shuro Chi ultimately loses you time, because you've got to wipe. Yeah, you've got to wipe. You've got to, you know, you might have to use a rocket to do that, to wipe more quickly, or you're gonna have to jump off the edge of the cliff. You've got the wipe screen to wade through. You've got the knights to contend with. The boss keeps hitting you. It's annoying. Shuro Chi farming weapons here, it ain't no fun farming weapons at Shuro Chi. It really drains the life out of you, which is why I'm looking for other farms, and I'll continue to do so every week with certain stuff. But this is just me showing you the deal with that. The trick is to leave the knights up. Leave the knights up, clear out all the scions. Take down the solar shield. You'll get more ad spawns if you do this, basically. So if someone's not even doing it right, they won't even get as much percentage. So that's another thing. You've got to know the spawns and stuff. I know it's good on the Tether, but as I said at the start of the video, this isn't me talking about, you know, the trick with the Tether in any detail at all about it. This is just for any class. Like I say, you can make it work with a Titan if you want. Doesn't really matter. Just farm on your preferred class is all I'm going to say about that. So we're just going to keep clearing out the scions, leaving the knights up, take the knights out at the very last thing. See, with it being a raid as well, the enemies do more damage to you than they would on the moon, just on a general mission. So that's another thing to sort of to consider. Okay, that's one phase. So if you can't level one weapon up in one cycle, it needs to be 2. So we started at 1%, we're now 57. That's our first go. Now we've got to wait for all this stuff. Right, we're waiting for this screen. We're waiting to put a banner in. We're waiting to start the checkpoint up. We're waiting for the boss to boop us. It's just honestly a pain to me. All right for heavies, it really is. It's not too bad heavy special wise, but primary, I'm not a huge fan of it. But as I said, I won't talk much more on it. This was a 3-minute 54 with the bow, 10 seconds longer. I mean, I could have done another 2 runs, and this run could have been 10 seconds quicker than the In the Deep. But my point is with In the Deep, is it has a massive gain, is that you can just sit in there for hours and farm at your leisure, right? You don't need to think about it, just farm, you know, you're good. The ratio between the two is very similar. So for me, this week, I'm just going to farm In the Deep. I'm not coming back in here, unless I want to level up a heavy or specials, you know, but even then you can get away with it in that mission. So that was just me proving a point with that, so you can see side by side the comparisons of the two. You make the decision which one's better. Definitely this is better for heavies. As I've said multiple times, Shuro Chi is still better for heavies because you can put a banner in. On the moon you can't. But if you're leveling up a primary, like your craftable bow or your craftable SMG, pulse, whatever it is, it's easier in just something else. You really don't need to come here. You've got infinite primary ammo. So that was the video on it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.